This week, the sun is in a fury. We've got a lot of solar flares. We have a lot of sunspots. And the consequence of that is that on our planet, Earth, we end up with a lot of northern lights. If it happens that you've noticed southern lights in the southern hemisphere, please tell us. And in the comments below, I'd be more than happy to know. Actually, that's part of one of my research after this show today. So let's see if we can have a quick look at what's happening on the sun right now. So this is an image. Let's see if I can make it so we can see the whole thing. There you go. This image is from earlier this week. So this is from May 10th. So that's yesterday. So here you could see that on our sun, we have a lot of activities. So we're going to talk about how activities is occurring right now and how it comes and goes in cycles. You'll see it is exciting. So here you could see that on the sun's surface, you could see here how we have materials and energy leaving the sun. We can see here there's some arches here. So here material is going to our solar system. We have energy going out. We also have changes in the geomagnetic field. So let's see if we'll talk about all of those things today. You'll see it's exciting. So if we look at this part right here. So this is from the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. So here's the first thing I want to talk today. So this is what's happening on the moon right now that is creating so many northern lights right now. So this is the sun. And on the sun this week, we have this group here, a group of several sunspots. We have a few more here and there. But what's happening, we're at the top of a cycle where there's a lot of activity on the sun's surface. On the sun's surface, at this place, we have sunspots. And you're going to say, well, what are sunspots? Well, on the sun, you could think of it as a huge ball of where fusion reaction happens and where energy comes out. The overall temperature on the surface, it's about 6,000 degrees Celsius, but there are places where it's a bit warmer and a few places where it's a bit cooler. And the sunspots here are places where it's a bit cooler, and that's why it looks like it's a bit darker. I was looking into on social media this morning, and some people said that with the glasses like eclipse glasses, when you look at the sun, you can actually see the sunspots like this. So I might try to do that later on today. So the whole idea here is that we have sunspots. The sunspots create places where it's cooler. That means that a lot of things if you take a soup, for example, a lot of things are bubbling up at this place right here. And the consequence is this thing right here, where we have places where they are cooler, things that are warmer, and it's creating all this chaos right here. So here we have an example of what was going on yesterday. So if we look at the previous images from this week, there we go. So this is from May 5th to May 6th. We have a third peak here, and you could see here how on the surface we have a lot of activities. So some places are darker in colors, some places are just uniformly giving out energy. But right in the middle here, lots of chaos and lots of, look at these eruptions here, those solar flares, creating a lot of action going on. Something you'll notice is that the sun is actually rotating on itself. That means that we have a lot of activities right now up until Sunday, May 12th. And then this part will slow down because it will be on the other side of the sun, knowing that the sun projects energy and matter in 3-dimension indeed. Now we'll see, as we don't know what's on the hidden side of the sun right now, when it turns, we may have more activities this week. So this was from May 5th and May 6th. On May 8th, we had other examples. So this one was from May 8th to May 9th. So here you can see this patch right here. This is where we have the sunspot. So it's moving to the right here. And you could see how we have the temperature here. Very high temperature because of energy and matter going out into space. But in an area where we have a lot of sunspots. So a lot of things going on right now. Here I have a quick movie from a quick video on this area too. you'll see on the fourth second, right here, you're going to see there's a flare right here. So we don't see flares all the time, but here is okay, let's see if we can do that again. There we go. See, there's an increased flare here. And these are amazing filters. And you can see with the filter how we have energy going out here and energy going out on the outer side here. Lots of activities going on the sun right now. Good. Now, what's interesting, if you were to look at, these are some graphs from NASA as well. It's called Solar Cycle Progression and Forecasts. So here we're on the 25th cycle from the solar cycles. In a moment, I'll share with you what it means. So here in 2020, this was the lowest number of sunspots we could see on the surface of the sun. And here for the last couple of years, there's been an increase. And here it's one of the highest point from the last 4 years. So here there's some prediction to see where it's going. We're still gathering data as we are going along. Because of the sunspots, what happens is that there's an increased electromagnetic flux coming from the sun. And this is what is affecting many of our telecommunication systems. So if you have radio waves in our atmosphere, they will be affected. If you have communication satellites into space, they will also be affected. So here we have 10.7, that's probably the amplitude, the period of the radio waves. And here you could see how there are changes and increase in geomagnetic index right here. There was, let's see if I can find, where would that be? I had a place where we could see nicely. We could see how the electromagnetic field of the sun was going. Okay, I'm sure I can find that somewhere. So here, so I don't have it. Let's see, where would it be? I had it not too long ago. It's got to be somewhere. It's one of those things. So it's not this one. Thank you for your patience. I do appreciate very nicely. That's when I edit this video, I'll take this part out. Well, it seems that I can't see this information. Good. So let's go to the next one. So a few hours ago, this is a new information that we got. As you can see, we have here our sunspots that are moving towards the east side, towards the right. And you could see there's a new, and they call it here, there's a new image of 2 new solar flares that happened overnight. So this one right here and one right here. So what happens is that when you have the solar flare, it creates a geomagnetic field on the sun. It sends radio waves towards us. And those radio waves are being in contact with our magnetic field. So let's see. So if you look here, these are 3 videos that are amazing. So this dates from this morning. So here you could see, let's see if it will take care of itself. It's coming. So here you'll see last night, lots of things going on. So we have the sunspots right here with the rotation of the sun. And you could see how, let's see if I can have, so some of the bursts that are happening right here. But you can see we have energy going around. They're quite active here, and it's amazing to see. We have here on this one here, we have an example. So here, this is something hiding the sun, but you can see how much, and that dates from last night, how we have materials going into space right here. It's just amazing. So here we're receiving a whole bunch of different particles on our way, just based on the fact there's a lot of activities on the sun's surface. And the third video that is amazing here, so this will upload. So here what we have, so on the blue side, we have the daytime. The dark side here, we have the nighttime. So if it's the daytime, we have the solar wind pushing towards the planet and therefore moving the magnetic field of our planet. So here it's moving and it's pushing up. And what happened is that we have ions playing with our magnetic field. So here it's almost done. as the day is going from here, we have North America. So here in Europe, we have northern lights. And as the night came to us, you'll see that we have the solar wind going here this way. This one is thinner, and we have here northern lights. But look at this, the northern lights are going as far south as the 49th parallel, the 48th parallel, 47. So we have northern lights going all the way to the States. So these are great times for people that want to go and see northern lights. If it happens from the audience that you have a video of northern lights, put them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to see it. If some of you would like me to use some of your video clips about northern lights and put them in one of my videos, please tell me, and I'd be more than happy to do so. As you can see, we have here, and as the days is progressing, we have the solar wind going this way, and we have for the next couple of days an increased level of northern lights, but also going much further south, given how much energy is coming our way. So this is quite amazing, and these are amazing ones here. So here you can see a graph with the fact that we are here on our 25th cycle. So I'm going to go here and bring it all the way to the beginning. So the first cycle was noticed in 1760 or so. So before that time, we had noticed, since the creation of the telescope, we had noticed sunspots on the sun. However, before 1750, it was chaotic. For about 20 to 30 years, it was not very stable. But since 1760 or so onward, we've noticed that there are cycles in the number of sunspots on the sun. So here, the sunspots number. So it goes up and then down. And you'll notice that they come in cycle between 10 and 11 years. So what happens is that there are times when the sun is more active and then times when the sun is less active. And you could see here in the number of sunspots that are available. So that's quite amazing. And so you could see, so if I can show a much smaller scale, so let's see here in the last 20 or 30 years. So here, so the last full cycle went from 2010, and then it went up with the most active around 2014 or so, then came down 2020, almost no sunspots at all. And now we're going up this graph right here, and you could see we have the red light and the gray zone, which is what we think this is the predicted number of sunspots, and we could see that it's higher than that we thought. And we don't know how far it will go. So the cycle is predicted to go all the way to 2035, but it might change depending on what reality will be. Now let's see if I can find a photo to share with you how the difference on the difference of the sunspots actually changed the surface of the sun. Let's see if I can find that for you. So here is an image of what has happened in the last cycle of our sun. So that was cycle 24. So here in 2010, we had very few sunspots, and then the number of sunspots increased, and then they went to a very minimum at 2020. So between cycle, you could see very little of energy going out of the sun. So very few flares, very few, let's say, matter going out. Same thing with this one here. But as we have the number of sunspots increasing, look at how much more activity is on the surface of the sun. So here, this is a composite image that's well done. It was done by Dan Seaton from the European Space Agency. And this collage shows how much over a cycle we have an increase on what's going on the surface of the sun. And then in 2020, we became again a much calmer sun. Now, in 2024, we started to cycle again. So we're right here, but there's a lot of sunspots, a lot of activities leading to a lot of northern lights as well. So that's quite nice. The next thing I wanted to show is this one here. So if you see, when we have a lot of sunspots, what happened is that we have energy coming out of the sun. We have solar flares, and those solar flares are affecting how the geomagnetic field is of the sun. This affects what's happening in the sun, that also directs some of the the materials and energy coming out of the sun. So this is, as you could see, the more sunspots we have, the more it is active with respect to geomagnetism, but also with respect to flares. So that's quite amazing. And these are the main points I wanted to share with you. If you have any questions with respect to solar flares, if you have any questions, and let's see if I can add one more photo. So this photo is quite nice. So this is a photo of Northern Light. This is not this set here. This dates back from September 2013. Now I don't have my own photos with respect to the current Northern Lights. If it happens you have any photos, pictures, don't hesitate to share them with me. I'm always interested to see what the audience is seeing, but also to try to see what's going on. So my quest for you right now is to go on social media and try to look at different astronomers, different groups that are recording amazing Northern Lights, and then you'll appreciate how nature is beautiful, but also how we are in a situation where there's a lot more action on the sun, giving us amazing Northern Lights. So on this, if you've enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to subscribe to our channel. If you have any clarification questions, put them in the comments below. I always read them, give answers. And if there's a topic I'm not sure, I do some studying so I can have amazing videos on this channel. On this, I'm going to put another video here, and I'll see you there in a moment.